Sterling Enterprises was a big, busy company known for its work in the tech industry. Normally, the office was full of energy and activity, but lately, there was a feeling of worry among the female employees. Quiet conversations in the break rooms hinted at troubling stories. The manager, Mr. Thompson, was at the center of these rumors. Jessica, a talented software developer, was the first to notice something was wrong. During a meeting that should have been about her work performance, Mr. Thompson suggested that her next promotion would depend on her willingness to cooperate with him in a way that had nothing to do with her job. Jessica, Mr. Thompson had said, leaning back in his chair, "You've been doing great work, but to move up in this company, you need to show a little flexibility." Jessica's heart raced. "What do you mean by flexibility, Mr. Thompson?" she asked, hoping she had misunderstood. He gave her a knowing smile. "You know what I mean. If you want that promotion, you'll have to be more accommodating." Scared of losing her position, Jessica stayed quiet and tried to avoid him. But Jessica wasn't alone. Other women began to share their own stories. Sarah from marketing, Emily from HR, and Megan from finance had all faced similar inappropriate demands from Mr. Thompson. In a quiet corner of the break room, Sarah whispered to Jessica, "He tried the same thing with me last month. Said if I didn't play along, I'd never see a promotion." Emily nodded, her face tense. "I thought I was the only one. This is outrageous. We need to do something." Realizing they were not alone gave them the courage to act. A small group of these women decided to reach out to the CEO, Mr. Richard Sterling, in secret. They couldn't confront Mr. Thompson directly because he had too much power. Instead, they wrote a careful email to Mr. Sterling, explaining what had happened and attaching any proof they had. Mr. Sterling was shocked and angry when he read the email. He had always tried to run his company with fairness and respect. Determined to fix this, he thought about how to handle the situation. He needed solid proof before taking action. Sitting in his office, Mr. Sterling thought, "I need to know for sure before I act. If these accusations are true, Thompson has to go." That's when he had an idea. His daughter, Chloe, had just finished her degree in business management. She was smart and shared his values. "Chloe," he said that evening at home, "I need your help with something important." Chloe looked up from her book, curious. "What's going on, Dad?" He explained the situation, ending with, "Would you go undercover as a new employee to investigate?" Chloe's eyes widened. "You want me to spy on him? To see if he's really doing this?" Mr. Sterling nodded. "Exactly. You're the only one I trust with this." Chloe agreed, saying, "I'll do it. We need to protect these women." Chloe prepared for her new role by changing her appearance and taking on the name Claire. As the office continued with its usual routines, they had no idea that a big change was coming. Chloe's mission would reveal the truth about Mr. Thompson and test the strength and values of everyone involved. Chloe felt both nervous and excited as she got ready for her secret mission. She changed her look to make sure no one would recognize her. She wore simple clothes, tied her hair back, and put on glasses she didn't really need. Now, she looked like any other job seeker. She arrived at Sterling Enterprises early in the morning, blending in with the other people looking for jobs. Chloe, now called Claire, walked into the building and felt a mix of pride and worry. She was proud to help her father and the women at the company, but she was also worried about what Mr. Thompson might do. Claire checked in at the front desk and waited for her interview with Mr. Thompson. When it was her turn, she took a deep breath and walked into his office. Mr. Thompson, a man in his late 40s with a confident smile, greeted her. "Good morning, Claire," he said, shaking her hand. "Please have a seat." "Thank you, Mr. Thompson," Claire replied, sitting down. At first, the interview seemed normal. He asked about her skills and experience, and she answered calmly. But soon, Mr. Thompson's questions took a strange turn. He leaned back in his chair and looked at her in a way that made her uncomfortable. "You know, Claire," he began, "we're looking for someone who can really fit in with our team. Someone who's willing to go the extra mile." Claire felt a chill run down her spine. "Of course, I'm ready to work hard and learn everything I can, she said cautiously. Mr. Thompson smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. That's good to hear. But sometimes, working hard means being flexible. You understand what I mean? Claire's heart pounded as she realized he was making the same inappropriate demands he had made to other women. She stayed calm and firmly said, I'm here to work, Mr. Thompson. I don't think I understand what you mean. His smile faded slightly. Claire, let's be honest. If you want this job, you'll need to show me that you can be accommodating. If you know what I mean. Staying calm, Claire firmly said, No, I'm not willing to do that. Mr. Thompson looked surprised and annoyed. You're making a big mistake. Refusing me could mean you won't get the job, he warned. Claire excused herself politely and left the office, pretending she needed a moment to think. Once she was out of sight, she quickly called her father. Dad, it's true, she whispered into the phone. He did exactly what the women said he would. Mr. Sterling listened carefully, then said, Stay where you are. I'm on my way with the police. Claire felt a mix of relief and fear as she waited. She knew that soon, the truth would come out. Back in Mr. Thompson's office, he likely had no idea what was coming. The clock ticked slowly as Claire kept an eye on the entrance, waiting for her father and the police to arrive. When Mr. Sterling walked in with the police, the office buzzed with whispers and curious glances. Employees wondered what was happening. Mr. Thompson's confident smile faded when he saw Mr. Sterling and the officers. What's going on? Mr. Thompson asked, trying to keep his composure. Mr. Thompson, Mr. Sterling said sternly, You're under investigation for misconduct? Claire stepped forward, revealing herself as Chloe, the CEO's daughter. I went undercover to see if the reports were true, she said, and they are. Mr. Thompson was shocked. He realized he had been caught. This is a misunderstanding. He protested. I was just testing her commitment. The police officer stepped forward. Mr. Thompson, you have the right to remain silent, he said as he handcuffed him. The office was buzzing with the news of Mr. Thompson's arrest. Employees were talking in hushed tones, trying to process what had just happened. Chloe, now back to her real identity, felt a sense of relief and accomplishment. But there was still work to be done. In Mr. Sterling's office, Chloe and her father were discussing the next steps. Chloe, you did an incredible job, Mr. Sterling said, pride in his voice. But we need to make sure this never happens again. Chloe nodded. We need to create a safe environment for everyone here. No one should feel threatened at work. Mr. Sterling agreed. I've already started looking for a new manager, someone with a good reputation who can restore trust. Meanwhile, the HR department was busy handling the fallout. Emily, from HR, gathered the female employees who had been affected. Thank you all for coming forward, Emily said. We're here to support you. If you need to talk or need any help, please let us know. Jessica, who had been the first to speak out, said, I'm just glad it's over. I was so scared, but now I feel like we can finally move on. Sarah added, It's a relief to know the company is taking this seriously. We need to make sure this doesn't happen again. Over the next few days, Mr. Sterling worked hard to implement new policies to protect the employees. He held meetings with each department to ensure everyone felt heard and safe. In one of these meetings, he addressed the entire staff. I want to apologize to anyone who was affected by Mr. Thompson's actions. We are making changes to ensure this never happens again. Your safety and well-being are our top priority. Chloe also spoke to the staff. As someone who went undercover, I saw firsthand the challenges you faced. I want to assure you that we are committed to creating a respectful and supportive workplace. The staff appreciated the transparency and commitment from their leaders. Slowly, the atmosphere in the office began to improve. A week later, Mr. Sterling introduced the new manager, Mrs. Harper, to the team. She had a strong background in leadership and a reputation for integrity. Good morning, everyone, Mrs. Harper said with a warm smile. I'm honored to join Sterling Enterprises. I promise to work hard to earn your trust and ensure this is a safe and productive place for all of you." The employees felt hopeful as they welcomed Mrs. Harper. Her presence marked a new beginning for the company. In a team meeting, Mrs. Harper stood at the front, addressing everyone. "I want to thank all of you for your patience and resilience during this difficult time. We are moving forward together. If anyone has any concerns, my door is always open." Emily from HR raised her hand. "Mrs. Harper, we've had some ideas about how to improve our workplace culture. We'd like to create a committee to focus on employee well-being." Mrs. Harper nodded approvingly. "That's a fantastic idea, Emily. Let's set up a meeting to discuss it further." Later that day, Chloe and Emily sat in the break room, talking over coffee. "It's amazing how quickly things are changing," Chloe said. "It feels like a different place." Emily smiled. "Yes, it does. I think having a leader like Mrs. Harper makes a big difference. And your bravery, Chloe, inspired us all." Chloe blushed. "I just did what needed to be done. We all did our part." That afternoon, Mr. Sterling called a company-wide meeting. He stood before his employees, looking proud. "I want to thank each and every one of you for your hard work and dedication. We've been through a tough time, but we're coming out stronger. I'm proud of how we've handled this challenge together." Jessica, who had been one of the first to speak out, stepped forward. "Mr. Sterling, thank you for listening to us and taking action. It means a lot to all of us." Mr. Sterling smiled warmly. "Your courage made all the difference, Jessica. You all showed incredible bravery. Now, let's look to the future and continue to make Sterling Enterprises a place we can all be proud of." As the meeting ended, the employees felt a renewed sense of unity. They were ready to move forward and build a better future together. Later that day, Chloe and her father sat down for a quiet moment. "I'm so proud of you, Chloe," Mr. Sterling said. "You helped make this company better." Chloe smiled. "I'm just glad we could do the right thing. It's important to stand up for what's right, no matter how hard it is." Mr. Sterling nodded. "Absolutely. This has been a tough experience, but it's taught us valuable lessons. We need to listen, support each other, and always strive for integrity." The days after Mrs. Harper's introduction were filled with hope and renewed energy. The atmosphere at Sterling Enterprises began to change. Employees felt more comfortable and started to regain their trust in the company. What do you think about this story? Leave a comment below this video. Thanks for watching.